if I open this locker, I'm gonna be in trouble. I forgot my key.
Boy, if you don't get... Don't you undermine my intelligence?
And it goes a little something like...
Hi guys, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Nakai and I'm back with another video. And today, as you can see by the title, I have a story time for you guys. So, this is the story of, why is it so noisy? This is the story of how I ended up in trouble in my boarding school because I wrote a book. To be fair, it was like a Wattpad type of book, but at the same time, I don't think we needed that much punishment. Anyways, yeah, I hope you like, comment, and subscribe, and you enjoy the story. Okay, so this story basically starts, it was 2016. So, and it was in the beginning, which was 2016, I would be turning 15, but in the beginning of the year, I was 14. So I was 14, I just got in from primary school in Kenya, and I was going to go to a boarding school in Kenya, but then I changed like 6 months later because it just wasn't for me. The boarding school life just was not for me. But yeah, so this happened while we were still there. It was like beginning of the year, so like February, March-ish, I think. Yeah. So basically, how it started off was basically we were not allowed to bring things to school, like our own books, like different things, because I don't know why they didn't let people come with their own books and stuff, but someone apparently had smuggled in the 50 Shades of Grey book, and obviously they were not gonna let us do that. So, oh, I forgot to mention, I think I mentioned it, I'm not sure, but yeah, I went to an all-girls boarding school, so we were not allowed to have that book with us. So someone had the book and was like giving it to other people to read, other people in different classes to read, because people wanted to read the book. Now someone went and snitched to the vice principal, like, oh, they have this book in school and they're passing it around and blah blah blah. So the vice principal, I don't remember her name, we're just gonna call her Vice Principal K. Yeah, Mrs. K. And yeah, so Mrs. K decides that in the middle, okay, not in the middle of the night, but like one Friday, we are just chilling, we are having prep times, so people are like reading, doing their homework in silence, you know, normal prep time activities. So one Friday prep time around like 9 or like 8, you know, Mrs. K, we hear the class next to us, like they're shuffling their chairs, and like prep time is supposed to be a quiet time, so hear people shuffle their chairs and stuff, like you're like, what's happening? Like, so we see them line up, like from the door, there's like a small window in the door, you can see them line up outside, and you're like, what is happening? But then we're like, you know what, maybe they got punished, maybe they were making noise, you never know what happened. So cool. We move on with life, and then after like a few minutes they go back into their class. 5 minutes after that, we hear a knock on our door. Was it even a knock? No, I think Mrs. K just walked in with 2 teachers on duty, and they're like, everybody leave your desks unlocked and open your bags and leave the classroom. So everyone's like, what is happening? Like, what the hell is happening? Like, okay, but you know, we go out and chill, and after like 10 minutes they're searching. We had these other lockers on the sides, and Mrs. K comes outside and is like, whose locker is the first one? And that was mine. And so people were like, oh, it's Nakai's locker. And then Mrs. K is just like, Nakai, can you come open your locker? My book, the one I was writing, I wrote it on a loose leaf pad and it was inside my locker. So I was like, if I open this locker, I'm gonna be in trouble. So I know these excuses were useless. They didn't make sense. They literally, it was stupid, but in my head, it was supposed to work. So we were like, I was like, I forgot my key.
Boy, if you don't get... Don't you undermine my intelligence?
Which is stupid because literally they could have told me to go to the hostel, get my key and open the locker. But I was like, oh no, I forgot my key. I can't open it and stuff like that. And then sis was like, you either open this by your own free will or we find someone to break the padlock and open it. So now I'm just like, you know what? Might as well open it. So I open it, I get out, and I'm like, yep, I'm in trouble. So they did end up finding the book, the 50 Shades book that the person had, and they also ended up finding my book. So, but basically my book was like, I was really into reading Wattpad at that time. So my book was like, low-key, I was starting to write like a Wattpad book. And I literally hadn't even written like the first chapter. It was like the beginning, like the beginning of the beginning. And, but you know, it was like, I don't remember like what exactly it was, but I remember the beginning. It wasn't like something that you wouldn't, like, you would get in trouble if someone saw that that's how your book was, or like the direction of where your book was going. So they didn't say anything to us. Mrs. K left, and her and the teachers on duty, they left too. So we were like, okay, so now what do we do? So we didn't hear from them. They left. Friday went along, nothing happened. Saturday there was a math competition happening in another school. I was chosen. I went, and because we didn't hear anything from Mrs. K and her people, we're like, okay, we're probably not in trouble. So Saturday I enjoyed my competition. Sunday we had church. It was cool, it was fun. Nothing serious. We thought, okay, you know what, maybe they're just gonna come and tell us like never to do that again because they haven't talked about it the whole weekend. You know, it's not an urgent matter. Boy, were we wrong. So Monday arrives and it's time to go for assembly. Now in assembly, usually there are chairs already organized for us when we get to the hall, but this time the teacher came to our class and was like, carry your own chairs, the one that we sit in class. So we're like, oh, okay, maybe something happened to the chairs and that's why we need to carry them. But when we go outside, we're the only ones carrying them, and we see that everyone else has already arrived for assembly. So we're like, that's kind of weird, but you know, it's what it is. So when we're about to put our chairs like next to everyone else, we're told to no, keep them at the back in the corner, and we're like, why are we keeping the chairs in the back in the corner? Like, it makes no sense. Until assembly started, and they were just like, you guys may have noticed some of your classmates are in the back corner alone. That's because they're in trouble. They're like a plague, an infestation. They they had bad behavior and they could corrupt the rest of you.
Okay.
Well, we were not even the problem in the high school. They should have been asking different people. But basically, Mrs. K is just like, yeah, they're a plague in our society, and if anyone gets associated with them, they will also be shunned and like treated as if they're not like treated like as if they're a bad thing in the society, like, you know, just stigmatized. That's the word I was looking for. They'd be stigmatized. So we're just like, what? They're like, yeah. They tell them, oh, because of the book, we've been forcing people to read it, we've been forcing people to listen to us, and I'm like, it makes no, honestly, it makes no sense why we got in so much trouble. Like, literally, she could have just told us, like, don't read this book. Like, I don't know, I don't understand what was the need of the whole scene. Like, you know, to each their own. So basically, we're just like, okay, well, now we're stigmatized. And then they're like, after assembly, everyone else will leave and we'll be the ones remaining. Once we remain, they're like, okay, listen, Mrs. K is like, listen, we're gonna be calling your parents, we're gonna tell them what you did. Like, I didn't see why they needed to call our parents, but anyways, like, we're gonna call your parents, we're gonna tell them what you did. We're also going to punish you. So she's like, for this whole week, you're not gonna learn. You're gonna clean the dining hall, you're gonna prep for breakfast, like, you're gonna arrange the tables and the chairs for breakfast, for lunch, for all the breaks, and you're gonna water all the plants. Like, basically, we were not learning that whole week. Like, we were working on the school grounds. So literally, we started that day, and it was like, before break time, we literally scrubbed the whole dining room floor. We let it dry, we put the tables and the chairs, we arranged the plates, and then when it came time, it was a rainy week. So people came in with their shoes, their muddy shoes, and they would make it dirty again. And then the lady, Mrs. K, would come again and be like, no, it's dirty, so you guys need to do this all over again. And we're like, what? But anyways, so that day we cleaned, and then they called our parents. I thought my parents were not going to be called because I went the whole day. Like, no, like, everyone was being called, their parents were coming in and out, and at the end of the day, I was like, oh, so my parents ain't being called because I don't see them here. And then,
Who gonna check me? Who gonna check me?
and at the end of the day, I see my mom and my sister.
And
And she's like, she calls me into the office, she's like, read this for your sister and your mom, what you wrote. I'm like, read what I wrote? What do you mean read what I wrote? Like, they can read? Like, I just didn't understand. But yeah. So basically, our parents were called. We were described as the plague of the school. We were known as the troublemaking class. A lot went down in that class. Those 6 months, our class went through a lot. We always got into trouble. Yeah, I mean, what can you do? But like, that is not the only time we got in trouble. I mean, we had so many other issues. There's so many stories I can make. But yeah, that is all the time I have for today. I appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope you guys can like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so that you're notified every single time I post a new video. Bye.
And it goes a little something like